You have built your SaaS as a monolith, is gaining traction, but now you're hitting those pain points. Deployments are getting risky. Your team is stepping on each other's code, and that authentication bug just brought down your entire system. Sounds familiar? Today I'm going to show you exactly which 5 microservices you should extract first, and more importantly, the specific order that will save you from architectural disasters. Hello everyone, I'm Swarnendu, and if you are running a growing SaaS company, this video could literally save you months of development time and prevent those 3 a.m. emergency calls we all dread. We are going to dive deep into strategic sequence for microservice extraction, because getting this order wrong can turn your architecture into a distributed nightmare, while getting it right will set you up for years of scalable growth. If you're new to this channel, I would request that you subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon. I share deep dives like this on SaaS, AI, and product strategy every week. We also send a lot of free giveaways like ebooks, templates, and worksheets to our subscribers regularly. Before we jump into specific services, let's talk about why sequence matters. When you extract microservices in the wrong order, you end up with what I call distributed monolith syndrome. All the complexity of microservices with none of the benefits. The research shows that successful SaaS companies follow a specific pattern. They start with components that are relatively decoupled from the rest of the system and have clear boundaries. These are services that require high scalability, specialized expertise, or independent deployments. Think of it like renovating a house while you are living in it. You do not start by tearing down load-bearing walls. You start with the rooms that are easiest to isolate and have the least impact on the rest of the structure. So here is my framework for choosing the extraction order. First, self-contained capabilities with minimal dependencies. Second, services with different scaling requirements. Third, services that improve system resilience. Fourth, resource-intensive operations that can burden the main applications. And 5, services that enable team independence. With that framework in mind, let's dive into specific services. The authentication service should be your first extraction, and here is why this is almost universally agreed upon by experts. Authentication is naturally self-contained. It handles user login, sign-up, token generation, and session management. It has a clear API boundary and well-defined responsibilities. Most importantly, it is crucial for scaling user management without affecting your core business logic. So why extract authentication first? First, it's completely decoupled from your business domain logic. Second, it has predictable scaling pattern based on user growth. Third, security issues are isolated from your main application. And fourth, you can even replace it with a third-party service later without major refactoring. What this looks like in practice: your monolith makes API call to the auth service for user validation, but the auth service doesn't need to know anything about your business logic. Clean separation, minimal dependencies. If your SaaS charges users, the billing service should be your second extraction. This might seem surprising. Why not notification or something simpler? Because billing has unique characteristics that make early extraction incredibly valuable, like different scaling patterns. End of month billing spikes do not match your normal traffic patterns. Compliance requirements, PCI compliance, financial regulations, audit trails. Resilience needs, payment processing failures shouldn't crash your main app. Security isolation, financial data needs extra protection layer. And the business impact: when your billing system is down, users cannot pay you. When your main app is down, existing customers can still use the service. By separating these concerns, you dramatically improve overall system reliability. The notification service is your third extraction, and this one's all about performance and user experience. Email sending, SMS, push notification, these are inherently asynchronous operations that can slow down your main request response cycle. Users do not need to wait for an email to be sent to complete their primary action. So why extract notifications third? First, it improves response times for user-facing actions. Second, it can scale independently based on communication volume. Third, it's a perfect candidate for serverless architecture like AWS Lambda, for example. And fourth, failures in notification delivery do not impact core functionality. Now here's an implementation pattern. Your main application publishes events like user registered, payment process, etc. And the notification service subscribes to these events and handles all outbound communications. The analytics service comes fourth because it's typically the first service that is truly resource intensive. Generating reports, computing user statistics, creating dashboards, these operations can consume significant CPU and memory. They often involve complex queries across large datasets and can impact the performance of user-facing features. Now here are the strategic benefits. First, it removes resource contention from your main application. Next, it can use different database technologies optimized for analytics. Third, it enables independent scaling for reporting workloads. And fourth, it creates clear separation between operational and analytical data. Here's a real-world example. If you're building a project management SaaS, your analytics service might generate monthly users reports, team productivity metrics, or billing users calculations, all without impacting the speed of creating tasks or updating project status. The SaaS service rounds out our top 5, and this extraction is all about performance optimization. Your platform offers such functionality, especially full text search or complex filtering. A dedicated SaaS service can dramatically improve performance. Such operations often require specialized data stores like Elasticsearch and have completely different optimized needs than your transactional data. So why SaaS service completes the foundation? First, it handles indexing and querying separately from core database. Second, it can use specialized search technologies. Third, it scales independently based on search volume. And fourth, it improves response times for both search and non-search operations. Now here's the critical part, how you actually execute this extraction sequence. Follow the one piece at a time rule. Extract one service completely, ensure everything works, and then move to the next. This validates your microservice infrastructure and team skills on a small scale first. Minimize back dependencies. Each new microservice should not heavily depend on the monolith. The dependency should be one directional. The monolith calls the service, but the service is mostly self-contained. Next, use appropriate data management. Each microservice should own its data or use a database suited to its needs. Your payment service might use PostgreSQL for transactions, while your analytics service might use a data warehouse solution. Next, implement an API gateway. As you extract services, introduce an API gateway that serves as a single entry point for clients, routing requests to either the monolith or the appropriate microservice. This keeps your API consistent from the client perspective. Now let me save you from the mistakes I see teams make constantly. First, do not extract based on code organization. Extract based on business capabilities and scaling needs. Second, do not create chatty interfaces. If your microservice needs to make multiple callbacks to the monolith for every operation, you have chosen the wrong boundary. Third, don't ignore monitoring. Set up proper monitoring, logging, and distributed tracing before you have multiple services to debug. Fourth, do not skip automation. Embrace CI/CD pipelines for each service from day one. Now, this sequence works for most SaaS companies, but there are exceptions. For example, if you have specialized resource needs early, maybe you are doing heavy image processing or machine learning inference, extract that computational service first. If you have compliance requirements, then certain regulatory industries might need to isolate specific data processing early. Or if you have clear team boundaries, if different teams are already working on distinct modules, that might influence your extraction order. But for 80% of SaaS companies, this authentication to billing to notification to analytics to search sequence will serve you well. So how do you know your extraction is working? Here are the metrics I track. First, deployment frequency. Can you deploy each service independently? Second, mean time to recovery. When something breaks, can you isolate and fix it quickly? Third, team velocity. Are teams able to work more independently? And fourth, system reliability. Are you seeing fewer cascading failures? Remember, the goal isn't to extract microservices as quickly as possible. It is to extract them strategically to solve real problems. Start with authentication because it is self-contained and critical. Move to billing because it has unique scaling and compliance needs. Extract notifications to improve performance. Add analytics to handle resource-intensive operations. And finish with search to optimize specialized functionality. This sequence has been proven by countless SaaS companies and it aligns with the fundamental principle of microservices. Each service should correspond to a single business capability with clear boundaries. What is your experience with microservice extraction? Are you currently struggling with any of these services in your monolith? Let me know in the comments which service you are planning to extract first and why. If this helped clarify your microservices strategy, please subscribe for more deep dives into SaaS architecture decisions. Next week, I'm covering the hidden cost of microservices that most teams do not budget for. And trust me, you do not want to miss that one. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, architecture decisions are not about following trends. They are about solving real business problems at the right time. Thank you so much.